So, welcome to our fourth session, and tonight is going to be focused on the networking essays, the career essays, and your host is ready. She's here. I'm just opening and saying hi to every one of you. So I know that it took you a lot to join tonight, so we have about 1 hour 45 minutes and some extra time to do actual demonstration of how to write your networking essays and your career essays, and actually also review some people's essay if they are lucky enough to like type really fast. So I'm gonna introduce quickly who's a person than Madam Rita. She's an amazing friend of mine. Please, can we see my screen?
Yeah, your screen is clear.
Okay, great. So please, if you're not speaking, you can please mute your mic so I can hear some noise in the background. Right, so that we don't have like interference. So our host for tonight is Madam Rita. She's a legal practitioner, and we actually fought over the pronunciation for our foundation this evening. So she's the founder of the UREO Foundation, the UREO Foundation, and she has over 5 years of experience in litigation for women's rights. Currently, she has impacted the lives of over 200 women and girls in Nigeria, and she's set to impact more. She has several initiatives ranging from the Sow and Grow initiative, the Youth Mentorship Symposium, the Employability Skills Hub. She's just changing the world every single day. She's a Chevening scholar. She's studying for a master's in human rights law at the prestigious Queen Mary University of London. Ladies and gentlemen, please round of applause for Miss Rita Uzoma Okolo as she turns on her camera and comes up. She's your host for tonight. Welcome to the host.
Hi, Martins.
Great.
Thank you so much. Hello,
I hope you
everyone.
forgive me for murdering the name of the foundation.
I was waiting for you to make mistake, but I mean, your village people didn't see you today. God is with you. Good evening, everybody. I want to say a very big thank you to all of us for joining and joining very timelessly as well. I can see 32 people on the call already. So I'm a very big stickler for time. So I'm really glad to have this number. It's 6 minutes into. Please, can we mute?
Yeah, I'm
can you
working
mute
on
yourself
that now.
when you join the call? Thank you. All right. Yes, that sounds so much better. All right. Okay, thank you. I'm really happy that we all joined on time today, and I am so excited because we have two amazing scholars, amazing Chevening scholars with us today who are going to be demystifying the career and the networking essay. So today I'm so excited because today's session is going to be power-packed. Today we have Munira Musa Ladan. She's studying at the Queen Mary University of London as well. She's a public health professional and she's the founder of LK Healthcare Foundation, a non-profit focused on increasing health awareness and improving health outcomes for women, girls, and children. She's studying global public health and policy in the Queen Mary University of London. Munira, welcome and thank you so much for joining us today. Munira is also a very good friend of mine, and I've been so fortunate to tap personally from her knowledge. And honestly, I can't wait for you guys to hear her speak. Thank you for joining us. We also have Odera Apata. Odera Apata is our second amazing scholar with us today. She's a product manager with over 4 years of professional experience, and she's currently pursuing her master's degree in international business at the Warwick Business School. Warwick is one of is a very amazing university. It's one of the Russell Group universities, and I mean, to school in Warwick, I know the application process for Warwick. So to school in Warwick, you have to be a boss. So I'm also saying welcome to Odera Apata. Thank you so much for being on the call here with us. And to every other Chevening scholar who is on the call currently, I'm saying a very big welcome. Thank you all participants for joining. And without further ado, we'll move on to the next stage. So I'll briefly an overview of the agenda for today. We're going to be considering the career essay and the networking essay. Now, these are the two. I know that these two essays actually give scholars a lot of problem. Please, if you guys can still hear me, just leave a comment or an emoji or something so I know you can hear me. These two essays actually really give a lot of scholars issues. So I'm glad that we're actually delving into this today. Thank you, Esther. Thank you very much for that comment. Okay, so now I know you can hear me. Thank you, Bashira. All right, so our agenda for today is very simple. Our time is going to be divided into 3 sessions. We're going to have the first session where our amazing scholars are going to give us an overview of the career essay and the networking essay. Then we'll move on to the very important segment where our scholars are going to draft live. They're going to draft an essay for us, both essays. The idea of this draft is not for you to copy exactly what you're drafting. The idea is to give you access into their thought processes to allow you understand, what you should be looking out for while you draft and the mistakes you should avoid while you draft. So just listen for their. Okay, perfect, Bukola. Thank you, Bukola. I know the name. So the idea is to give you an inroad into the scholar's mind so that you know exactly how to structure your essays and what you should keep in mind while you're drafting. After the second segment, we will move into the most sought after segment, which is live essay reviews. This, of course, is still going to be fastest fingers. So whoever is able to share their essays in record time, we're going to be reviewing the networking and the career essays live, okay? And this is also an initiative to help those who otherwise might not get these reviews, because a lot of scholars have a lot on their hands at this time. All right, without further ado, I'm going to be calling on Munira right now. Munira is going to explain the career essay to us. She's going to give us an overview of what the career essay is, the structure of the career essay, what you should bear in mind when you want to write your career essay. Munira, I'm going to hand the mic and, of course, the video space over to you now.
All right, thank you very much, Rita. Good evening, everyone. My name is Munira again. So we're going to be talking about the career plan essay. So for the career plan essay, you have to keep in mind that it's very different from the 3 other essays, and you have to write it differently. And to me personally, I believe it's the most important part of your application. You have to show that you are worthy of their investment, because this is where they see that, okay, we can actually invest in this person to study and come back and make an impact. So I'm going to be breaking it down into different sections. I made some notes just so I can get everything out there. So firstly, you have to structure it very well. There's a particular way for you to write your career plan essay. You can't use the STAR approach here. It's entirely different. So you're going to break it down. You have an introduction. So for the career plan essay, you can go about the introduction. You can have an introduction, or you can just delve right into the essay. It depends on how you want to do it. But personally, I had an introduction. So for the introduction, how I would advise you to do it is it's either you state a specific problem in your field, the challenges, the obstacles that's in your specific field. You highlight a gap, and then you state how your career plan is going to solve that. I don't know if can you guys hear me? Let me just get like a reaction. So I don't know. I'm not speaking to myself. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So as I said, for the structure, it's either you have an introduction or you don't. But I believe you should have an introduction where you state a problem, a specific problem in your field, you highlight the gap, and then you tell them how your career plan is going to solve it. So you should have a clearly defined introduction. And this has to be written in a very, very good way, in a very specific way that captures the reader's attention. So for every essay you're writing in the Chevening scholarship application, it is very important that your opening statement, or what we call the thesis statement, it has to resonate with the reader. Because if I start reading your essay and then it's not very interesting. So from that first moment, I know that maybe it's either I'm in for a treat or I am not. So your opening statement has to be good. It has to be exceptional. You have to write it very well. And you just have to keep it very simple. Let's say 2 to 3 sentences, and that's about it for the opening statement in all your essays. So you have to keep that in mind. And then we move on to the body. So when you're writing your career plan essay, it is best that you clearly break it down into your short-term goals, your medium-term goals, and your long-term goals. This is very, very important because this will like show progression of how you've progressed from each stage to another. So for your short-term plan, which is usually between 0 to 5 years, some take it as 0 to 3 years. It depends on how you want to write your essay. So this is very important that you have like short-term, medium-term, and then long-term goals. And then obviously you're going to have a conclusion, which is very important. We're going to get there. So for your short-term plan, this is where you're going to tell them, okay, when I come back to it, see, Chevening are going to invest in you to come back. They don't want you to come back and say you want to start looking for a job. So clearly in your short-term goal, you have to tell them that, okay, I am coming back to something. You have to explain. So it's either you're returning back to your job, and if you're returning back to your previous job, you have to tell them how it's going to be different this time. When you come back, what are you going to be doing differently? Is it that you're going to be promoted? Are you going to work in a different department? And what newly acquired skills have you gotten from your studies that you're going to implement in your new role? So this is very important. You have to have a specified goal. When you come back, are you returning back to your job, or are you starting something new? Do you want to start an NGO? Do you want to start a new business? And you have to tell them specifically how you're going to do it. That is very important. Also, your plan, everything you're writing in your career plan essay has to be measurable. It has to be time bound. This is very important. If you can use percentages to say, okay, maybe you're stating a problem, you want to solve this. Maybe let's say the percentage of maternal mortality is 30% in the country. And then based on what you've said in your career plan, you want to reduce the percentage, let's say from 30 to 15%. You can say something like that. Make sure that whatever you're writing down is realistic. Don't go and say you want to reduce it from 30% to 0%. That's unrealistic. That can't happen. So make sure that whatever you're writing is actually realistic. That's very important. Then you move on to your medium-term plan. In your medium-term plan, this is where you explain how you have moved on from where you've come back to Nigeria, you've done some work. If you wanted to start a business, you've done that. If you wanted to start an organization, you've done that. And then you move on to your medium-term plan. This is like very important because this is where you show ambition. This is where you show ambition. Okay, what are you going to do? Do you want to move on to work with the state government? What exactly do you want to do? And this is where you should have, you have to find, so I don't know if you guys are familiar, but you have to include what the UK government is doing in Nigeria. It's either you contribute to what they are already doing. They have projects. There's a development tracker website where you go and check many fields that the UK government are working in at the state and federal level in Nigeria. So you have to look for projects that are relating to what you want to do. So these projects are ongoing. Some of them are done. have been completed. So you have to look at projects. How are you going to initiate a project with the UK government? That's the whole point of all this. They want you to come back and work for them or contribute to what they're already doing in Nigeria. So you have to do your research. You have to do your research and include that into your EC. That will give you an edge, honestly. That is very, very important. You have to include what the UK government is doing in Nigeria or what they've already done, or maybe you want to contribute to what they are doing, or maybe you want to start a new project. Personally, I told them how I wanted to start an entirely new project with the UK government in Nigeria. So you can, as far as it's realistic and it's time-bound, it's something that you can do. So very important, you have to go to the development tracker and check the fields where the UK government are working in Nigeria. So after that, you have to move on to your long-term plan. This is where you can say whatever. You can say whatever. You want to be president, you want to be minister. Just make sure that the most important thing is from your short term to your medium term to your long term, it has to show progression. Okay, I've done this in the short term. I've moved on, let's say, to the state government. I've done this work. In the long term, you might want to go to the federal government. So how I did mine was I went back to my job, I contributed to my job, moved on to work with the state government, and then in the long term, I wanted to work with the federal government. So you can see it shows progression. And then the fields where I'm working aligns. But for your long-term plan, you can aspire to be whatever. You can say you want to be the president or whoever you want to be, but just make sure that everything is connecting. It has to be consistent. And then for your conclusion, which is also very important, it has to be very smooth. This is your chance to kiss Chevening's ass. You have to tell them, okay, look, I know what the Chevening Scholarship can do for my aspirations, and I know I deserve this. You contribute to this. You have to be specific. Tell them what you do specifically. What are you going to change in Nigeria? How are you going to contribute to universal health coverage if that's what you're feeling? Like, be specific. The conclusion has to tell them that, okay, this is what I want to do. Okay, I think that's about it for now. We're going to talk more when we go further in the discussion. So thank you.
Rita, do I just jump in? Or how does the...
I don't know, where is Rita?
All right, I think I will just jump in because I think she already ran us through what to do.
Okay, just jump in then.
Yeah, Martins, I don't know if you mind me sharing my screen. I sort of had like a something I wanted to share. I can see you're sharing your screen. All right.
Please go on, share your screen.
Okay, so share. All right, so I guess everybody can see my screen. First things first, when they gave me this essay, I was like, oh my God, this was literally my hardest essay. How am I supposed to speak about my hardest essay? However, I'll tell you how it was for me, because I guess this is for most people one of their tough essays. All right, so the whole idea of networking is, I think that's what you should first understand. Before, like, everything you have and everything you are able to like achieve is because you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, right? All Chevening is asking you to do really is point out that professional part of you, or point out that professional network that has helped you, or how you have helped any other person. So when I started writing my essay, the thing that came to mind was I had to literally like get a list of people that I know, because I am a product manager by practice, right? And I spend most of my time literally in my house, just sitting on the laptop like this, the way I am talking now. That's where I had all my meetings for over a year. And it was just like, how do I show people that I know how to network? So the first thing I did was, who do you know? Like, is it people it could be people in your church, but just write out every single person. Don't say, oh, this is not a relevant example, this is not a relevant person. Every single person is relevant. And it does not really matter how big the position is, but it matters what impact that person has on your life, or vice versa. The second thing was, how did you meet them? Because there has to be a channel. Did you go for a program? Was it a church? Was it at the bar? Was it an event? Maybe a professional event? how did that happen? So I also started thinking about my life. Okay, Odara, when have you left the house? So when you left the house, what did you go? Did you go to Landmark in Lagos for a particular event? If you went there, who did you talk to? What was the conversation about? I literally had to start introspecting. Then the next question you also ask is, how have they been relevant in my life? Sometimes you meet somebody, you've never spoken to them, and you're about to write your essay. There's no way you can use that person as an example. So you have to, out of that list, now filter out who is relevant. Who is relevant in terms of how have I benefited from them, or how have they benefited from me? All right. So when you're writing, because this is just the overview, right? Yeah, this is the overview. So when you're writing, 3 things I think you should keep in mind, things I kept in mind, where first thing is, they are key questions. So start by answering them, because sometimes there's a desire to just tell a story. Don't just tell a story. Ensure that when you are telling your story, you are actually answering the question. And most times, the best way to do it is the STAR approach. The STAR approach is encompassing, and that's why people really say it a lot, or use the STAR approach, use the STAR approach. It helps take the most important part of that story that you want to tell and then tell it in the best way. Second thing is maximize your word count. Sometimes people want to tell every single thing. Like you want to tell them how you entered the bus, how the bus driver was rude to you. You want to put all those details. Those things may come when you get into the interview stage, when you're able to really share more about your story. But right now, you need to ask yourself, every single statement, because that's what I did for myself, every single statement that I am writing here, this line, what's the relevance? Because sometimes, I think at a point I had like a very long essay. So I had to start like cutting it down and asking myself, what's relevant? What's not relevant? What's the statement? Like, what's the purpose of the statement? It also boils down to your paragraph. So you're asking yourself, when a person is done reading this particular paragraph, whether it's your introduction or your 3 examples or 2 examples, as the case may be, what do you want them to take out from that particular paragraph? The last one is keep the reader engaged. I say this because it's easy for people to lose their attention when they are reading. Of course, people that they are giving your essays to, I guess this is their life, right? They already know that by the end of November, Chevening will give them an essay. Maybe that's what they do. But however, I want to make sure that even if a person gets distracted, let's say I was reading your essay, I was the reader for your essay here in the UK, and then for some reason my husband calls me, right, and tells me, oh, our child has gone to the hospital. I want to be so engaged in your essay that I know that, oh, this essay is so interesting. I'm still going to come back to it. And when I come back to it, I can remember almost where you left out, because you're carrying me along. You make me feel as though I am there with you when you're writing or when you went through those experiences. So this is what I have for the networking essay as an overview, just to help everybody sort of understand it. So I'll stop sharing now. And then, Munira, I think you're supposed to go next with the right.
Adara, thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I could not turn on my video. I couldn't turn on my audio. I was trying and trying, but apparently it was disabled for a moment. But thank you guys so much for sharing. You see this networking, Adara, I suffered. Hey, I suffered to write this networking because I kept going over and over in my head. What exactly? I mean, I've met so many people. What do I need to highlight? What don't I need to highlight? So this was so detailed and straight to the point. It just lets you know exactly what to keep in mind when you're writing. And now we're just going to go straight on. I love how we're just very timeless today. We're going to go straight on into essay drafting, live essay drafting. So we want to see, Munira, you're going to come back up right now with a career plan essay drafting. We want to look into your mind and basically see, as you draft, what's going through your mind. So as you draft, just let us know. When you draft like the introduction, just let us know, okay, you can see my introduction. Just take us along for the ride. I really am interested in seeing how you draft a career plan essay. And I know everyone here is also interested. Munira?
Okay, Martins, you're going to be writing, right?
Yes, he's supposed to type. Yes, I'll speak with him on the back end. So you can begin. Hello, are you guys here? I think Martins is here, Munira. He's ready for you.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so as I said earlier, you can either start with an introduction or you just dive right into the essay. So I think I'm just going to skip the introduction, but let's see if I can come up with something. Okay, Martins, are you ready?
I think he is.
All right, so let's go. According to WHO, I can't really see what you're typing. You have to all right, okay, that's fine. Okay, so according to WHO, Nigeria accounts for let's say 20% of global maternal mortality. Okay, the northeastern geopolitical zones are predominantly affected. Okay, are predominantly affected, full stop. Okay, so strengthening of primary health systems can improve maternal and child health outcomes. Sorry, can improve maternal health outcomes, remove the child. Can improve maternal health outcomes and reduce preventable deaths. Okay. In this regard, I intend to pursue a career dedicated to improving maternal and child health. Okay, so this is my introduction. I've stated a problem, I've told them about the gap, and then that is why I want to pursue a career. So this is just a demo, actually. So you guys, this is not perfect, but you just get the gist. So let's move on to the first paragraph in the body. Okay, so let's go. Upon return home to Nigeria, you have to state that you are coming back. You see this upon return home to Nigeria, please put it in your AC. That is what they're about. They want to see that you want to come back home. The clause of this Chevening scholarship is you have to come back to Nigeria for at least 2 years. So please reiterate that you're coming back to Nigeria. It's very important. All right, upon return to Nigeria, my immediate career plan. My immediate career plan is to, let's say, look for a job that aligns with my newly acquired skills. All right. I currently work as a hospital pharmacist. Let's see. currently work as a hospital pharmacist. Okay, so I currently work as a hospital pharmacist. Okay, so you see, this is actually a problem, because I should have said something like, upon my return home to Nigeria, I want to go back to my job. Why am I saying that? I'm looking for a job. So Martins, can you scratch that out? Okay, just leave it out. I've just made my point. I don't know, should you scratch it out or should we go on?
I guess that would depend on you really, and the goal of this particular paragraph.
Okay, so just leave this one. Let's have another one just to show difference. Write another opening paragraph. Sorry, just go down. Just name this one, and then we'll do two. Okay. So start again with upon my return to Nigeria or post-study. I hope to have developed skills in, you have to mention the specific skills that you've gotten from your degree. So let's say you've developed skills in, let's say, advocacy, communication, public health, advocacy, to be specific. So I hope to have developed skills in public health advocacy. All right, full stop. So I aim to return to my work. I aim to return to my work, but in a more senior role, Senior role at the, let's say, public health department. Of my hospital, public health department of my hospital. Of my hospital, okay, where I will lead like a team. I will lead a team. I will lead a team to focus on community development projects. Development projects such as household surveys, that no, take that out. Such as household surveys, so I can, let's say, increase the acceptance of safe use of medication. So, you know, I said I'm a pharmacist. From everything I've written before, the reader knows that I'm a pharmacist. So I'm actually aligning what I previously, like my previous career, professional experience to, okay, I've gone to the UK and I've gained more knowledge and skills in public health. So now I want to like maybe work as a public health pharmacist. This is what this is saying. So you can see that when I mentioned that I want to return to my work, but I want to return to a more senior role at my public health department of the hospital that I work. So I can even decide to add that that will be long story, but at the interview, I'll have the chance to tell them that, okay, I have a very good working relationship with my boss, and he has promised me that when I come back, he's going to like give me the position or something like that. I would have said that in my essay, but I don't have the words. I don't have space to write all that. So I just clearly said that I'll return to a more senior. That's what the interview is about. You are going to explain yourself. Like it's your chance to tell them, okay, this is what I'll do specifically. And then another thing is, I mentioned that I mentioned a specific skill. This is very important. Okay, you've studied. What skills did you gain from your study? You have to mention specific skills. Mention one or two. I could have said, I have developed skills in public health advocacy communication, which is important for the things that I said I'm going to do. That's very important. Also, I mentioned that, okay, this is what I want to do. I mentioned that I want to lead a team to focus on community development projects. I could have stopped there, but I told them exactly which type of project I wanted to do, like such as household surveys. Obviously, if I'm writing my essays, I'll mention 2 more or 3 more, but you can see that everything you state, you have to give them a reason. Okay, you've told them I've told them that I want to focus on community development projects. How will I do it? What type of project? So you have to be very specific in whatever you're writing. So basically, this is like how you start writing. Everything you write, as Odera said, has to make sense. Like, why is it there? Is it there for a reason? Is it making sense? It has to connect. So I think we can just move on to, let's say, medium term. This is like immediate career plan. You can also, in your immediate career plan, you can go back to your job, and if you have a side project that you want to do, for example, I have a foundation. So after, obviously, I've settled in my new job, I want to carry on with the work of my foundation. I'm still going to add it to my immediate career plan. I'll tell them that, okay, I also want to like upscale the work I do at my foundation. I want to do this project. Anything you write, you have to be specific. Tell them exactly what you want to do. I told them that I want to like upscale the work at my foundation because I'm now a Chevening scholar. Past at a Chevening, I'm a Chevening scholar. I have gained connection, and that connection can actually go a long way for me to upscale the work I do. I will have the connection. So you can state all that, and then you move on to your career plan. In your career plan, your medium-term plan, I'm getting carried away. In your medium-term plan, that is where I think that is actually the most important. It's hardest to write because you have to think deeply about what you want to do in your medium-term plan. It's between 5 to 10 years. So you have to show ambition. You have to think about it deeply. So I think the safest thing is to just say, you don't have to, obviously, we have individual, let's say, individual things that we do, but the safest thing is to just find a project, work with the state government. Is there a branch in your state government? Is there something that the state government is doing that relates to your career plan that you want to contribute to? And then during that medium-term plan, go and look, as I said, you have to look for projects that the UK government is currently doing in Nigeria. You have to go to the development tracker. We're going to like drop a link. Go and check. They have a lot of projects: climate, health, education, security, food security, all that. They have lots of projects in Nigeria. So make sure you look at the timeline, because you have to mention, okay, let's say there's this LAFIA project that the UK government is doing in Nigeria to support maternal and child health outcomes. So you have to look at the timeline. When is it ending? Like, don't go and mention a project that you want to contribute to that has ended. It has to be ongoing. Or if it has ended, how will you contribute to what they've already done? So that is very important. So for my medium-term plan, I'll be like, okay, I want to work with a specific, let's say, in the medium term, you can, okay, so the thing is, you can either state, some people mention numbers, you can say in 5 to 10 years, or you can just say in the medium term, you can do it however you want. So let's say in 5 to 10 years, I aim to work. And the thing is, your vocabulary, you have to use words like that describe you as someone of self-assurance and determination. You have to show that, okay, like I'll actually do this. Don't use words like I envision, I intend to, like use words like I aim to, like use words that will show like yes, I'm actually into this, something like that. So in 5 to 10 years, I aim to work with the, let's say, State Maternal and Child Health Intervention Center, something like that. Okay, what will I do? let's see. Okay, so I want to work with the State Maternal and Child Health Intervention Center. Okay, so I can mention that I want to work in the health planning division. I don't know. Okay, let's say I want to work in the advocacy department because I'm really huge on advocacy. I will contribute to projects that support improving. This is actually harder than I thought. Well, okay. I'm talking with the same material.
Okay, so Munira, it doesn't have to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect at this time, exactly. It's just to give like a rough idea of what it is they should look out for while writing. So the words don't have to be perfect. You have the general idea. So you could just give us the general overview, general idea, and then whoever is writing will obviously have to go back and, you know,
okay,
do like some real work.
All right. So as I said, the general overview is you have to structure it very well. You have to have your short-term plan, your medium-term plan. In your medium-term plan, this is where you have to show a lot of ambition. This is where your main work is going to show. And then you move on to the long-term plan. Obviously, this is actually hard to write because it's a career plan. I don't know. So I think I'll just give, what do you think, Rita?
Do you mind if I give maybe like an example?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let me flow from what you've written. Like, okay, in 5 to 10 years, I aim to work with State Maternal and Child Health Intervention Center in the advocacy department. Okay, so we could just say I aim to work with. So for your career plan essay as well, I think you should also aim for specificity. So it should be as specific as possible. So maybe you could say in 5 to 10 years, I aim to work with Babalakin and Co State Maternal and Health Care Intervention Center in Lagos State, where I intend to contribute to their projects that support maternal mortality, where I intend to continue to their projects that support, that prevent maternal mortality, like the End Maternal Mortality Project, and advance policies to improve. I don't think Martins is following me right now.
Continue to help prevent maternal. No. Just, okay, hold on.
Advance policies that improve childcare.
Okay.
I'm listening, Maria.
Okay, let's say that maybe I'll contribute to, let's say, developing community outreach strategies, and then I tell them exactly what I want to do. I mention them. Okay, what are the strategies that I want to do? Okay, let's say I want to contribute to developing community outreach strategies. Okay, so for instance, I will work on vital advocacy programs to improve awareness. And also to promote community involvement. Especially in identifying, let's say, pregnancy danger signs. Yeah. Okay, so from this, you can see that, okay, I've stated where I want to work. I've stated exactly what I want to do. And I've told them that exactly, okay, I want to contribute to developing community outreach strategies. Like, you have to tell them exactly what you want to do. And then additionally, if I would write it, I would write additionally, I would contribute to, you can state this is where you state what the UK government is doing in Nigeria. It's either you contribute or you start a new project entirely with them. Okay, you can say additionally, the DFID, that is the Department for International Development, is working at the state level for a start. You've given them an introduction. Martins. Okay, fine. That's okay. So basically, the point is that you should mention what the Department for International Development is doing, mention a specific project, look at the project specifically, and if you want to contribute to what they are doing, fine. If you want to start a new project that supports what they are doing, mention it and tell them exactly how you're going to do it. And then you move on to your long-term plan. So in your long-term plan, this is where you can say whatever. For me, I want to be, in the long term, I want to be a health policy maker. So I told them, with the experience that I got in the state government, with experiences from my work and everything, I'll apply it. Yeah, so you can see, like, with the experience from the state government, you can say something like, I aspire to be, let's say, health minister. Okay, so you can be like, you tell them where you want, like, as a health minister, what do you want to do? For me, it was health policy reforms and all that. Tell them exactly how you want to do it. Dream as big as you want to. So yeah, and then let's go to conclusion, because the long-term plan, we all have, everyone, it's specific for everyone. Just make sure that everything you are writing is realistic, very important. Do not exaggerate. It has to be, as I said, time-bound, measurable, and all that. Okay, so for your conclusion, this is also very important. I think I made a note for the conclusion. Okay, so for your conclusion, you have to tell them that, okay, winning the you have to butter them up. Winning the Chevening scholarship will allow me to study in the United Kingdom. You can say whatever you want, but just make sure that you are telling them that Chevening will change your life. That's basically it, and that's actually true. So study in the United Kingdom, contribute to contribute to decreasing maternal and child mortality. And let's say moving Nigeria forward towards achieving universal health coverage, something like that. You can actually start by saying, okay, I would be incredibly proud to receive the Chevening scholarship, or like just butter them up. Yeah, something like that. So the main point is that it has to have a clearly defined structure. You have to structure it very well. Everything has to connect. Make sure that this is actually very important. Your career plan has to connect with your leadership, like what you've said that you've been doing. Don't go and mention things in your leadership and networking essay and then come and say something entirely different that you haven't said before in your leadership and networking essay. Like things that you have done, do they relate to your career plan? Is everything connecting? It has to be consistent. This is very important. So make sure that everything is connecting. That's what they'll be looking out for. They want to see that consistency in your ECs. If you are sticking to this, stick to this. Don't go and say you want to do this. Come and say in your career plan you want to do this. like be consistent. And the thing is, be throwing in, like when you're writing each section of your essays, make sure that you're throwing in signs that you're going to come on. So when you're writing your career plan essay, for me, I did it last, something like that. So make sure that every section you've mentioned something that relates to what you want to do. I was always throwing in maternal and child health. I was always telling them in each section. So that's very, very important. Just make sure that there's consistency. So I think that's about it. That's like the general idea. Obviously, I know this is incredibly hard. It took me 3 months to perfect my essays, so you can imagine it was drafts after drafts. So I wish you guys all the best. But this is like the most important section. And when you get to the interview, this is what you are going to like explain. You have to explain to them. It has to be believable. So make sure that everything you are putting into your career plan essay is something that you are passionate about and you can actually defend. So that's very important. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Munira. That was so amazing. So if I got you correctly, and just to recap, do a summary of all you've said so far. You said we should have a well-defined structure in our essays. Okay, we should have a well-defined structure and introduction. You gave us what to look out for in the introduction. We should have smart and measurable goals that are attainable, goals that are smart, goals that are measurable, goals that are time-bound. And you said we should find a common thread in our essay. Like if we're talking about, for instance, human rights in my case, we should keep talking about human rights.
Yes.
So that was very, very applaudable. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your nuggets of wisdom with us. We're so grateful.
Thank you.
Okay, just before I call on Odera, I just want to add something to what Munira has initially said about a common thread throughout your essays. It's very important that you have a common thread throughout your essays. It's very important that a central idea or a central theme is working in your mind, and anybody reading your essays can see that even without looking too hard, that theme is shining very brightly, like it's very, very noticeable. But sometimes for some people, it's very difficult to form a central theme, especially with their leadership. For instance, the last time we had this call, we had a question from a scholar who had focused more of his time doing like non-profit or work in the non-profit space. And then currently he wants to move into like corporate commercial law, intellectual property law. It's still in the legal sector, quite all right, but it's not in the space in which he has been working. And to answer that question, or I don't want you guys to lose hope by saying, oh, I cannot find a common thread, or I cannot make my essay connect, so I'm not going to write. No. In your leadership, of course, your leadership is where you have the opportunity to give past examples of things that you have done and connect it now with things that probably you want to do and how you want to improve your leadership skills when you get to the UK. So if you, for instance, have been in a different career path and you want to change, it's very possible to still win a Chevening scholarship, okay? So what you are going to have to do right now is to ensure that you give your regular examples of all you have been doing, your leadership examples. But when you get to your career plan and you're studying in the UK essays, you persuasively let Chevening know exactly why it is you're changing career paths, okay? So in your career plan, like Chevening Munira has just said, you have to really highlight what is my motivation. So your introduction now will not be the introduction of the person whose essay connected right from the leadership. Since you already have a different work experience, which you have highlighted in your leadership, and now you want to change careers and you want to study something different, your introduction in your career plan and you're studying in the UK is not the same thing with somebody whose essay connect to. You have to go the extra mile to give in your introduction your motivation, the reason why you're changing. Oh yes, I have a background in women's rights and doing this and doing that and doing this for women. That is where the majority of my work life has been. That's where all my leadership experiences are called from. However, I want to go into this new field. I want to go into this new sphere. Why? Because while I was working in women's rights, I had the opportunity to gain access into this field, or had the opportunity to meet scholars in this field. And I noticed the deficiency in so and so. Or maybe I now, while I was working in women's rights, I now had a personal experience that totally changed my life, or that totally derailed me from that path, and now made me see the deficiencies in this field. And this is a field that the UK is really hammering on at this particular point in time. It forms one of the core thematic areas in the FCDO's work in my country. And then now I want to delve into this new field. So when you finish explaining that your career plan, you're studying in the UKSA, you also persuade Chevening as to why you're changing careers. It is very, very doable. A lot of scholars have done it. So do not be discouraged if, for instance, your leadership essay shows examples from like a totally different career path, and then you want to change career path. But make sure that you're studying in the UK and your career plan essays now give a clear idea of where it is you want to go. Okay, make sure it gives a clear idea of where it is you want to go. So your leadership and your networking, you can use your examples with the experiences you have. It can give a clear idea of where you're coming from, but do not fail. Your own thread will now be tying where you're coming from, a motivating factor to where it is you want to go. I hope I made sense. All right, now I'm going to call Odera to come on now and very, very quickly and very, very succinctly give us draft the networking essay for us. You know, give us an idea into how your mind should be working when you're drafting the networking essay.
All right. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I think I'm back on your screens again. So what I did was I tried to have like a draft prior to now, because in reality, I really cannot like write on the go. It would take me days to write. So I'll put context before I go to the next page. Now, we are assuming that you are me, all of you are me. We all have the same experience. We are going to write together. Context, in 2020 or 2019, I finished NYSC, I believe. Yeah. And then I started so I studied civil engineering, right? I was interested in agriculture. So I applied for work in an agricultural firm, got in as an engineering assistant. But when I got in there, they put me on the product team. So I did not know anything about products, but they put me on the product team and I enjoyed it. However, like literally 1 or 2 months into like getting into Lagos, I had to go into my house lockdown, right? The whole idea of coming to Lagos was so that I can attend all the events, because after all, that Lagos is where everything happens. So you could imagine, I literally just started my career, like my great plans, and I had to start it from within my house. So when I started writing my essay, this was what I wanted to communicate with the people that I was writing to, or writing for in quotes, right? So let's go to how I work through it. Wait, no, this screen, okay. So things I do, I sort of have like, so I usually put my things in tables. I never really have introduction, but I put introduction here just because a good number of people might want to say, okay, how about introductions? For my networking and leadership essay, I didn't have introductions. I literally just dived into my story. But for my career plan, I had an introduction. So what I did here is I put a place for introduction. I'll show you what I have written, but in reality, I actually started with context, and I'll try to separate context from situation, and why it helped me. So one time my brother went to Abuja and he said that he was in phase something in Abuja, and I could not really understand like how fancy the place was, how expensive the place was. So I was like, okay, just tell me, like in Lagos, which of the places in Lagos looks like this place or feels like this place? So he was like, oh, it's like the Ikoyi of Lagos, right? So what that did for me is that I've not been to Abuja, but him just telling me that, oh, it's like the Ikoyi of Lagos, I sort of understood the kind of caliber of people that will be there, how expensive it will be, yada, yada, yada. So what context really does is like giving you just that maybe that extra one-liner of information that allows you to make the person feel what you feel. That's what I think context is. So this introduction I'm showing you is what I used the other 2 years when they did not accept me. So if you copy it, I don't know, but let me show you what I had used, because I really cannot write on the go. So I have to exit. What just happened? Did I lose my sharing? Okay, I think I'm sharing again.
Okay, please, could you just make the introduction like the contrast so that we can see what you wrote? Because it's not really, it's white.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Oh, perfect. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So I did not want to open everything at once. So what I had started with previous years was a definition of leadership, right? And I'll read it to you. And my thought at that point in time was, oh, let me tell these people what, sorry, let's say leadership networking. Let me tell these people what networking is. Let me tell them how it has been so important to me. So I had written my definition of leadership is building strategic relationships that could become beneficial to people involved. Networking has played an essential role in my life because I have been able to access programs as well as job opportunities through my network. Now, it's okay, right? But the thing is, when I started writing my essay this time, I just wanted the person to enjoy my essay. I don't think these people need another extra definition of networking or another extra definition of leadership. They already know what it is. So in my mind, I'm like, do you know what? You already know what it is. Let me just tell you how I have used it. So for context, this is what I did. I'm sorry. So I said, I had just moved to the vibrant city of Lagos to start my career as an analyst working for a startup. It was just a month into my resumption when COVID hit Nigeria. As a graduate, I had to start my career within my house in an economy filled with uncertainty. So that's how I started. I don't know if it bangs when you read it, but however, they liked it, I believe so. So for me, this was just putting context into the situation that I was about to get into. I could have as well just gone into my definition, my introduction, and then go into situation and say, oh, I did not have X or I did not have Y, but I needed them to understand why it was so impactful in my own story. The next thing is the situation. So let me do this. So the situation is, I'll just read it. Working with teams virtually, I developed an interest for product management. I joined XYZ Academy. I'm not telling what academy I joined, a platform created to help young professionals. This was when I met James, a senior product manager and software engineer. I saw similarities in our journey, so I connected with him on LinkedIn. Did I just say connect? Connected with him on LinkedIn. So what the situation was that I had now developed a new interest. I studied engineering. I wanted to be in the agricultural space, but I developed a new interest. And the only way I could explain that I was ready to put in the work was to show them I joined a platform where I met somebody. So the task that I had to do was really just manage this relationship. And because that's one thing Chevening will ask you, like, how are you leveraging this relationship? So the task was, we had several discussions where I expressed my desire to join one of his projects, but unfortunately he had nothing at that time. In reality, this person, who is not James, but I put James there, actually did not have anything. But anytime we spoke on the phone, I'll tell him, oh, I really want to be a product manager. If you have anything, just give it to me. I'll just try it out. So the action that happened, which was not necessarily maybe my action, but was an action that took place in this particular story, was that I ensured that I stayed connected with this person because I knew that he could give me something to work on, right? And then a few months after, he reached out to me, and that's how I got my first product management role. Of course, I have to tell you that it was not the best. It was hard. I did not realize that engineers were hard to work with and all of those many things. In fact, I think I even messed up and caused them to lose some money. But the thing is, I learned, like, that was the key thing. I learned so much just doing that by the side. Now, some people have results or lessons, and you can have both in your story, depending on how much space you have. So the result of what happened was, we worked together for over a year and released the test version of the product. It's supposed to be of the product anyway, of the product on Google Play Store. And this was actually very interesting for me because I did not know how they released versions on Play Store, and I had to handle it. So I learned the basic foundations of product management. So for me, this was my story, right? Initially, I was hoping that I'll be able to join it together and we'll read everything. But this is how I dealt with my leadership and networking essay. I had a table. I'll write everything. What it helped me do, I don't know if it helped anybody, it helped me understand for each of these scenarios, what am I writing, and is this really relevant? Do I need to put it? Like, I could have said I moved to the city of Lagos, but the reason why I put vibrant city of Lagos, because I wanted the reader to know that it's not one village in Nigeria. It's actually a bubbling city in Nigeria. And I felt like vibrant would put a bit of context into, maybe not so much context, but a bit of context into how important Lagos played a role in my journey as an analyst as at that time when I was thinking of it. So let me do something. I can't really, so I wanted us to look at the outcome and put everything together, but I know that we don't have a lot of time and we're going to the most important part. So let me skip this. So this is a sneak peek, and I show people this, not because I want you to copy it, but we don't have the same story. So I don't know how you want to copy it. And if you copy it, just know that maybe there are another 100 people copying it. And if all of you put the same thing on the system, it's going to kick you out before anybody even gets to physically read your essay. But this is what I actually wrote for my own essay. I'm not going to read it, but you can see how I was able to join everything together. Of course, I rewarded some things, moved some extra things, but the whole idea is every line, literally every line had to be relevant to my story. Nothing was just there because it's just information. Every line had to play a role. So this is what you need to do when you are writing. Finally, conclusion. I really had very brief conclusions because I had a friend that told me, Odera, just conclude very simply. You don't need to be so complex. So the whole idea of conclusion is also saying, based on everything I have done to network, or based on my experience in networking, I plan to leverage, it can be a community, it can be a platform, it can be a voluntary opportunity, such that you are able to build more networks that allow you to do things. Because the truth is, the more people you know, most times, the more you can do, right? The less people you know, the more you may be stranded, maybe. I don't know who you are. But yeah, that's everything I have. I hope this helps somebody. Thank you. I don't know if Rita is able to unmute.
I think so.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
I'm here, Odera. Thank you so much. That was, I don't even know, that was phenomenal. Thank you so much. It has brought so much context to the networking essay. It has brought a lot of context in the networking essay. And I hope, are you guys feeling this thing? Are you ready to write or rewrite, as the case may be? Please, if you're ready to write or rewrite, can I see? Thank you very much, Temiloluwa. Let me see your comments. This was very amazing. Our scholars are on fire this evening. Beautiful. Thank you, Al Hassan. Yes, Sikiru. I can exactly. Please remember not to copy what the scholars are giving you here. Don't copy it word for word, though. Yeah, no. Write your own something. Write. You can do it. Write originally, okay? Because plagiarism is an offense, a very serious offense. They take it very seriously in the UK. So please try to avoid and shun it at all costs. All right. We're entering the Ogbonge segment. And you guys, when I say 1, 2, 3, Martins, just to clarify, is the link where they can send the iPhone? You don't have a name on you said you have a question, but you don't have a name. So if you could just write your question down in the comments, someone will answer you immediately. Okay? Martins, are we ready? Can you share the Google form, please? And I see you.
I think you should just send it to me directly. Let them just send it to me. Let them look for my name in the chat and send a direct message to me.
Okay,
No, we've
perfect.
closed the Google form. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Okay, guys, so the first set of people, I don't know how many we'll be able to take, but the first set of people who will send Martin their networking and career essay, please, networking and career essay now. The time starts now. We will review your essay live on this webinar. So, Martin is going to be checking his chat right now, and whoever sends it first, we start reviewing your essay. Please don't write your name on top of the essay or anything. Just send it. We don't want to know who it is. This will make for a more objective review. And I'm looking at iPhones. I'm going to keep calling you iPhone until you change your name, please. iPhone's message. I can see leadership and influencing, same as the networking she just explained. Because I don't seem to see networking there. Okay. So let me just pitch in a little bit. A little bit of leadership and influencing in your networking essay. That's the truth. Because you're going to show, aside showing, your networking essay aims to show these things, right? Where you met someone or an organization, when you met this person or this organization, what you did. So this is where the leadership element might come in. What you did with this person, what impact were you able to make with this person or this organization? Okay. So this is where it might look like it's the leadership essay, but it really is not. And why you're supposed to keep that element short and sweet, because you're not replicating what you've written in your leadership essay. So what you're highlighting in your networking essay mostly is, where did I meet this person I network with? Is it on social media? Is it in person at a conference or a webinar? When did I meet this person? Someone
Just
is
a
raising
moment.
their...
So people are sending me like the text of their essays in the chat. They should send a link to the Google document that has their essays in the chat, not the actual essay like in the chat. They should say in a Google document and send the link to the document. Did we hear me, everyone?
Guys. Yes, we did. Please don't send the essay like that, because how is he going to copy it and then display it? Please now, you're doing like scholars, act like scholars. Send the link. We love you. Send
so in
the
that
link,
regard,
please.
I think I have see Akubweze as the first one we'll be looking at. So Ngozi
I was
Akubweze,
hoping we would not mention their names. Martin. That was the whole idea.
Okay. I already mentioned that one, so maybe next one. Sorry. Apologies.
All right, so let me just finish up what I was saying. So there's a leadership element in your networking essay, but it is not the same thing. Because in your networking essay, what you're trying to highlight is where you met someone or an organization, how you met, how you sustained the relationship, what the relationship was supposed to give to you, or what the relationship gave to you, rather. What the relationship gave to you, what you were able to do with this person, the impact you were able to make with this person, if that is... Oh, I'm not getting... Okay, fine. Unmute and speak. I'm not getting your question.
Yeah, so sorry, please. So what I'm saying is, there are 4 subheadings for the essays. So there is no particular one that states networking in particular. The first one is leadership and influence. I think the second one is career, and then one UK, and then
relationship building. There's something
exactly.
that says, yeah, relationship building is networking.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay. All right, since that has been clarified, Martins, can you display the essay, please, so that we start looking at it? Thank you.
Just a moment. Pulling them up gradually, just a moment.
While we're waiting for Martins to display, can anybody just quickly type one thing in just one sentence? What has stood out for you in this webinar? Like, what have you taken home? Can you just type your take home in one sentence in the chat box, please? While we wait for Martins to display the message, I will be reading. What is your take home from everything that has been said so far? What's your take home for the networking? What's your take home? Okay, perfect. Timi Luluwa says, having a table to clearly explain my thoughts and tell a cohesive story. Thank you. Yes, a coherent story. Your essay is unique to you. Do not be afraid to perfect. Clarification and networking. Having a center, perfect.
So we have our first essay up.
All right, perfect.
Right. Rita, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can. I could see the screen.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Abdulrahman.
All right.
All right. So this first essay says, I hope my scholars are here because we're doing this together. Yeah. Let me start reading. Is this
Munira and Odera?
We are here.
Okay, perfect.
Moon.
Nigeria, like many developing countries, faces a plethora of human resource difficulties. HR departments have traditionally served as tools to pander to the whims of employees rather than as drivers for organizational growth and development. In its current form, performance management has become a relentless pursuit of deadlines, frequently at the expense of employee well-being. Employees are frequently viewed as merely a means to an end rather than assets worthy of nurturing. This has resulted in an array of negative effects, with more people opting for entrepreneurship or enduring roles that offer little to no job satisfaction. As a result, low performance, high attrition, and low profitability at the order of the day, casting a shadow over our country's future.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. This is good, but it is long.
Too
It
many
is too
words.
long for an introduction. It's good. You can keep the words and everything. It makes sense, but just find a way to cut down, prune down the number of words aggressively. That's too long for an introduction. It's too long.
Personally, I was waiting to, this is actually very good, but I was waiting to first see what he or she writes further down to be able to now tell, okay, is the introduction too long or not? Because if the person is able to encapsulate all they require, all they are supposed to in the body of the essay, then I mean, it's long, but it's interesting to read. It's long, but it kept me glued.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Exactly. So, and then when you say human resource, what I would add to this is human resource departments have traditionally served as tools that pander to the da. In its current form, performance management is a relentless pursuit of, is there any, okay, well, is this your personal experience? Because if you're saying human resource generally in Nigeria, there has to be some sort of backup for what you're saying. Are we relying on your scholarly expertise on the matter? I don't think you're like you've done like maybe a PhD or you have like scholarly expertise. I know you have personal experiences. So if you have a personal experience, you can limit it to your experience, maybe in your company or the various organizations you've been to. But if you're telling us about human resource generally in Nigeria, then I would assume that there should be statistics or something to back up, because this is a problem statement. And it's a very good problem statement, that leads us into why it is you want to undertake this career, right? But you have to give us something. Just add something, maybe rewrite something and now add a statistic that now lends more backing to this thing you have said. That's my personal opinion. But aside that, might be too long, but for me, it was engaging. It was engaging and I wasn't bored. So that's a good one, I guess. All right, let's now see your body and see if the body reflects everything you're supposed to reflect, and then we'll know whether you should just cut down and use those words and add to your body, or if you can leave it as it is. Martins, could you go up a little bit, please? All right. First paragraph says, first paragraph after introduction. My ultimate career goal is to be the real life Wendy Rhodes from Showtime series Billions. Okay, I used to watch that movie. I've forgotten who Wendy Rhodes is. Anyway, I'm determined to become the best performance coach in Nigeria and Africa. Okay, why not just say Africa, since Nigeria is part of Africa? But I get that you want to be specific, so okay, that's okay. As I embark on this ambitious journey, I'm armed with the knowledge and skills meticulously honed during my master's program. Oh, you have a master's already? It seems like she has a master's already. My mission is crystal clear: to assist organizations in crafting and executing performance strategy that unleash this is another introduction. Wow. That unleash the full potential of their workforce. In doing so, I aim to enhance productivity and profitability, not merely for the benefit of individual companies, but also in alignment with the larger goals of my nation.
To be honest, I feel like starting with this instead of the previous.
Right?
I was just about to say exactly that.
Yes,
I think this is better than the first one.
This introduction is super engaging. Like the other one was just too many words and too many allegory and allusions from one corner to another.
Yeah, this is actually very, and it's concise, it makes sense, and then there's your aim, what it is you want to do. Because now, I mean, how many words are remaining with all these plenty things you've written, and you've not even told us your career plan yet. Okay, let's go on. So maybe just interchange them or something, I don't know. Upon returning from the UK, I intend to continue at my current role at the construction, leading people, operations, and administration. We are on a mission to redefine luxury living and Nigeria, or in Nigeria. and I want to be part of that team. Okay, so is this redefining luxury living? Is it a new? Because is it a new? Is it part of? Is it what you guys already do, or is it a new thing you people want to do now? Because you say you want to be part of the team, but you already tell us you're already working there. So does this mean this is a new project you guys are undertaking? And it says the work I have already started. Your D is supposed to start with a capital letter because the team has a full stop. The work I have already started, liaising with HR professionals. The work I have already started, liaising with HR professionals to educate employers and HR professionals are like, okay, this is not clear.
Can I quickly say something?
Yes, please.
So Chiamaka, because I think we already know your name. I wish you gave us a clean essay so that we did not need to know all these details. But then when you write your essay and as you review, when we give you feedback, the whole idea is that the person that's receiving your essay should not have to, like, you don't want to stress the person's brain because they're reading like maybe thousands. If I'm questioning every single paragraph, I would not finish your essay personally. I'm being very honest, even when I read people's essays now. So one thing I also did when I wanted people to help me, I'll tell them if there's any place you have questions or you're not clear in, let me know. That means I'm possibly not saying something clear enough and you are seeking too much clarity that makes you not want to read it anymore. I don't know if this makes sense. But yeah,
Yes, it does.
that's what I have to say.
So it says our objective already. The work I have already started liaising with educational with HR professionals to educate employers and HR professionals alike. I can see HR professionals in the same sentence twice. The sentence is unclear. In fact, from that we are on a mission to these HR professionals alike is very unclear. I don't know if the mission to redefine luxury is a new project your company is doing, and then there's a different team for it and you want to be part of the team. Then this work you've already started, is it what you do? Is it your current role? Or is it something you want to do? So that already is unclear to me. I don't know if any other person understood it, but I did not. The next sentence says, our objective is to provide them with I'm guessing you mean employers and HR professionals, with the knowledge and support they need to unleash workers' latent potential, transforming low-performing employees into high-achieving stars. This technique, which I call bringing out the you in you, has the potential to transform the Nigerian workforce. Okay, so this paragraph has not really told us anything. So it has only told us that you want to continue working at where you work now, but it has not really honestly told us what it is you want to do. You want to use a technique called bringing out the you in you to transform the Nigerian workforce by educating HR professionals. Is that it? And if that is it, then it's really honestly not that clear. Because I'm racking my brain to actually come to this conclusion, and I really hope this is the conclusion you were going for. But if it's not, then you really need to work on this paragraph. You need to. Your coming in paragraphs were so engaging, but this one already threw me off. And this is the meat of the work. This is the cocoa. So if this is not clear, it means you don't know what it is you want to do, and that's a problem. It's a problem in itself. So I would say redraft this paragraph. To be very honest, I would say redraft this paragraph. And Martins, what just happened? Thank you.
I think I have a few comments, right? The person who's writing this can write really well. The person can weave words, do all of that.
Yeah.
But my only question is, how do you want to do all these things that you are saying? I am not seeing a definiteness in the essay from...
There's no how here at all.
Yeah, the essay lacks how, right? So if you're writing, I want to continue my current role where I lead people operations and administration. Then if I pick the next first line from the second paragraph, which would be redefining work in Nigeria from its current state, is the heart of my mission. You already said your mission previously, but I'm not seeing how you want to do the redefining work in Nigeria, which is what you say you want to do. And then you tell me that your goals are in line with the UK's government's focus on prosperity for your country, right? Where they focus on decent work and economic growth. And then you say you see a future in our workforce where they flourish and stress and burnout are relics of the past. These are all decorated words, but there is still no how you will do this. Do you get? What are you going to do? What employability project? What is that key thing you're doing? What product, what program, what initiative, what service are you starting across your whatever? And I think the only thing that you even stated here is upon returning, there is no long-term plan. Even the short-term plan or the immediate plan is not specified, right?
There's no
I
medium-term
think I'll
plan.
stop there in terms of comment.
Yeah. So there is
Yeah,
no
there's no
medium-term plan,
medium-term
there's no
plan, there's no
long-term plan.
long-term.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just when I come
Things you
back
want to
from the
do,
UK.
nothing. You just want to say you're continuing working and then you want to just be part of that team. But what are you going to do there? How are you going to do the things you want to do? Right. I've given an example, but we have biases to
Yeah,
review.
so you could say something like,
Yeah.
oh, I when I come back, I want to change this narrative. Okay, I intend to do this by, I'm starting an initiative called the Bringing Out the You in You initiative. This will be aimed at so and so. We intend, I intend to organize conferences, organize symposium for workers in Port Harcourt, Lagos, blah, 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 or the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, with collaborating with people like this, and this. The objective is to do this, and then our results or the aim is to do so and so. Do you understand? You also do that for your medium-term goal. In the medium term, that's 3 to 5 to 7 years from your return. I intend to have gotten to so and so place. I intend to have gotten so and so place. I intend to have done so and so. And with the experience I would have gotten from my short-term goal or from the Bringing Out the You in You and my master's degree, it will launch me into my medium-term goal. Okay, so let me give an example of my essay. I said when I return, I intend to move Uriel from a community-based because Uriel largely operates in like Port Harcourt, Imo State, and Enugu, so southeastern part of Nigeria, right? So I said, my plan is to expand the reach of Uriel to the main geopolitical zones in Nigeria, to other states, especially Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt, which are the 3 like most commercialized cities in Nigeria. I said I intend to do this by developing a large or a broad team of volunteers. How do I intend to get these volunteers? Through online invitations, blah, 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 blah. I wrote that in my essay, of course, not with these words. I used better words. And I said, when I bring these volunteers together, then we'll begin projects on this, in these geopolitical zones, with each of these volunteers carrying the Uriel banner. This way, Uriel has spread. I would also collaborate with like Chevening alumni, people I'll meet now. And then Chevening alumni, I was already talking to at the time I was writing my essays, who are also doing this sort of work I do. And then when I come back, we'll collaborate on these kinds of projects in these states at this time. And our goal is to reach so and so demographic. So you see, it is very, very clear. In the medium term, I said, by the time I have finished my master's degree, I already have that knowledge. I've expanded my nonprofit. I've already gained that experience. And then I will now use a combination of this now to launch myself into a senior associate role I named the law firm, one of the biggest human rights law firms in Lagos State, which is at the heart of Nigeria. Because first of all, they require people with a master's degree. And second of all, they require people with the kind of experience that I would have gotten from my master's degree and my short-term goals. In this law firm, see what I'll do. I'll help them. I'll learn more, improve my skills with policy drafting, and then improve my skills with other high-profile human rights cases. And I said, when I learned this at the law firm, in the long term, I will launch myself into the Nigerian judiciary. Because by this time, I would have been working for 10 years, which is the required number of years that the judiciary needs to make me a judge of the High Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And as a High Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what am I going to be focused on? I will bring a culmination of all my experiences, both theoretical and practical on the field with the law firm I mentioned, and then use these experiences to interpret laws and reflect gender equality and gender parity principles in my interpretation of Nigerian laws. this is in line with the UK goals on gender equality, the SDGs, so and so. So you see now that I've given you a, see from here, this one will launch me here. From here, this one will now launch me here. So you can't just, in other words, like you need to, in my opinion, you need to rewrite from this upon returning to the UK. In fact, you need to really work on your essay. You can write.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can write. You have a flourish with words, but you need to rework it. So, Munua, please.
Okay, if I can just quickly say, so this is what I've been saying, structure. Structure is very important. You have to structure everything. Everything has to flow. They need to see, they're actually scoring your ACs based on many things. Even that structure is there, grammar, everything is there. So structure is very important. You have to sit down and see, okay, how do I want to structure this? It has to show progression. You can't just throw around, you want to do this without doing this. So as you can see, the first thing I noticed in this essay is there's no structure at all. So you have to structure it. After I've done this, what will I do? Let that structure show progression in your career plan. Very, very important. As Martin said, this person can actually write, but they are not showing any. Where is the how? The how is not there. Like, how are you going to do this? You have to tell them specifically, this is how I want to do this, and this. You have to tell them. And you are not going to have the avenue to say everything you want to say, but write the important things so that when you get to the interview stage, you explain. That's the whole point of the interview. You explain tire. So just write you have to structure it easy very well. Just go back. You are on the right track. Actually, this is actually it has potential. Like, it is really good, but you have to just restructure and add in things. Very, very important. So I wish you all the best.
All right, Martins, I think we should go to the next. Oh, you've already moved. Perfect. Okay. All right. You're welcome. Okay, so we're not going to know who has this one. Let's start. Networking is the primary essential tool for my career development. I understand that networking at the local and international level, formal and non-formal, are essential to me. Most of my networking was achieved or created via professional gatherings. I take advantage of conferences, seminars, and workshops of major professional bodies to discuss issues that align with career development, societal change, and girl-child education with colleagues in the engineering profession. Guys, what do you think?
Well, I like it. I'll give
It's
it
not
like
bad.
6/10.
Yeah.
6.5 over 10.
6.5. I agree. The thing is, it's actually good, but I mean, there are so many things that are unnecessary that she can take out and save space.
I feel like it can be better.
Yeah,
I feel like it can be better because you're competing with like thousands of bright minds. So you don't want
it has to be exceptional. Everything has to be like good. It has to be extra good.
So this was just good, but it wasn't great. It wasn't like wow. So, and you need wow because you're competing with a lot of people that will give wow. You don't want to be blah. Okay, nice. You don't want to be nice, so don't play nice. So I guess a good way you can make this great is semantics, your choice of words, and use more words that depict. For instance, when I was writing, a former scholar told me, Rita, there's a way to know someone in the development space. There are some words you use, impact. You know, there are some words that from the beginning, somebody will say, no, this one. When you say this, I can easily just say, I want equality. But when you say gender parity, you're creating an impression in the person's mind that, oh no, this person is working in this space. So I feel like your words, it's just a matter of semantics. Play around with your words. Like, don't now do too much. Don't do too much, but take this from good to great. And this is where you need another, like a scholar that will probably go through it with you line by line. Okay, let me see. Networking is the primary essential tool for my career development. So this is simple, and I just feel like it can be better. Let me move to the next one before I start talking rubbish. During my first international conference of the Society of Women Engineers, which I attended virtually, I met so many people from different countries with different language background. Grammar problem. That was my first ever conference that I was opportunity to meet people from the different countries in the continent of Africa, Europe, Asia, and the rest, even though communication was done in English language. The different accents of people made it difficult for me to understand fully and participate in some conversations when there is a breakout session. I got a lot of exposure from the people I met, especially within Africa. I built relationship with people. Okay, this is not giving. It's not giving what it's supposed to give.
Okay, so I think I want to just maybe make a comment because of the fact that going through from the beginning to the end of this essay, right? This person spoke about one conference paragraph, like from the first paragraph, after the introduction to build connections across the continent of Africa, you want to specify. You said that networking has been an essential tool for your career development. Show us how that has happened across the last 5 years. In 2019, what conference did you attend? Who did you meet? What was the result of that relationship? In 2020, what SWE, whatever did you go to, or what did you do from the relationship that happened in 2020, right? You want to be that specific. This is a lot of words, right? You are opportune to meet people. That's a lot. Whereas communication was done in English language, very unnecessary. First paragraph, the second line is unnecessary. I understand that networking at the local and international level are essential to me. Is that you pick that one and leave the first line, or you use that line continuously. Most of my networking was achieved via professional gatherings, and then you went ahead to making an example of those gatherings. That's a waste of words already on its own, right? So 3 things I'm saying. Number 1, right? Let's see networking events, the professional gatherings you have attended, the key persons you have met, what that relationship has resulted in, and how you fostered the relationship. How did you foster the relationship? Was it through emails, phone calls? Was it once a month meeting, right? What was the result of the relationship that you built? If you built a relationship with a person, what was the result of the interaction with the committee? What was the result of the breakout session that affected your career? Did you meet someone and 10 years after he got you a role in so and so company? That's all I want to say in this regard for this particular essay. Okay.
So let me try and recouch. Let me just try and recouch this first paragraph. Instead of saying during my first international, that's a passive voice. You don't want to write with a passive voice. So I could say I virtually attended an international conference of the Society of Women Engineers, where I met people from diverse backgrounds, from different countries and diverse backgrounds, full stop. I was opportune to meet all these other things unnecessary, no concern, Chevening. I was opportune to meet Mr. XYZ, I was opportune to meet Mr. XYZ, proceeded to keep communicating with him on WhatsApp, or just say, oh, I met Mr. XYZ at this conference, and during our further communication on LinkedIn, I realized I was exposed to the need for diversity, equity, and inclusion for women in the energy or power sector. Or I was opportune to meet Mr. XYZ, who is a trailblazer in the so sector, and who opened my eyes to the need for equity and diversity for women in African power sector. Working with Mr. Abimbola, by Mr. Abimbola's work, I undertook a course sponsored by the Power Africa Nigeria Power Sector Program for Women in the Energy Sector. This course exposed me to what is DEI? No, you can't do this. What is DEI? I'm not in this sector, so I don't even know what this is. So you can't put acronyms unless you have given the full word yet first. If you give the full word, then you put acronyms in, you put the acronym in brackets. Okay. So now I've told you where I met, that I attended the conference. I met Mr. Abimbola at the conference. I attended the conference with diverse people of different backgrounds. I met Mr. Abimbola at the conference. I connected with him on LinkedIn and was fully exposed to the work he does in so and so. He's a trailblazer in so and so. He inspired me. You know, he exposed me to this need for women in this sector, and inspired me to undertake a course. So now you have seen the networking now and what that networking has done for you. Now, when you now say you now say what the course has done for you. The course, exposed you to DEI, whatever that is, work-life balance for women, and helped you to develop. No, this doesn't even. This helped me develop lasting relationships through acting unnecessary. Just say what that course that this person exposed you to has helped you to achieve so far. Finish, and how you've also improved the person's life, and then you move on to the next one. So you need to go and recouch. I hope this thing I've recouched. I say I've recouched it. Hey, this thing I have recouched or tried to recouch has given you an idea of how you should write. So Martins, let's just quickly move through this. I have built collaborations with people in like-minded individuals on issues of girls in STEM. I perform STEM. What people? Who are these people? Don't be leaving questions in your essay. Yes, be specific.
This person is not very specific, and they don't have time for all that. I mean, they are reviewing thousands of ACs. The person that's reviewing your AC can't see you. It's only your story that has to resonate with them. So It's very important that, and also a point that I actually wanted to mention, you don't have to you can actually show variation in your networking capabilities. You can maybe give an example, maybe a personal connection. It can be business. It can be, let's say, participation, as you said, in a conference or something. It could be social media. I mentioned how I was able to connect with a current Chevening scholar on social media, what we did. You can mention anything as far as it makes sense. And it also gives you an edge when you show that variation. Just don't say, okay, all your networks have been formed during a conference. Show variations. You have personal networks, you have business networks, there are organizational networks, there are personal,
even
social
church.
media. There's a lot of things that you can say.
Oh, that's on the school that you're teaching children in church. Do you know it's a networking this thing? You collaborated, you met so and so people when you moved to a new city and you joined that church. You can mention how you got into this city and you joined so and so. Just make sure you give the registered name of the church. I joined Love World Incorporated or Redeemed Christian Diocese Limited, where I met people like Mr. So and so who were well versed in training children on the art of so and so. Together, this you learn. So it mustn't just be conference so that you sound serious.
Exactly. No. And the thing that you should keep in mind is how you created that network, how you maintain the network, and then how have the network contributed to your growth. Very important. Yes. How you created the network, how you maintain the network, and how they have contributed to your growth. Think about it.
All right, so I think this should be the last networking, and then we move into career.
Leadership.
I think we started with career, but
we've done networking now. Why not leadership or something else? Well, this has already been open, so we can't say no.
Okay, so despite the armed conflict in my region between early environmental activists and the government, my childhood was a blend of nostalgia filled with timeless moments shared with my kinsmen. A cultural worldview guided our tight-knit communal life, Igwe, emphasizing collective strength. Therefore, for me, pursuing a university education was not only about mastering literacy skills, it represented an opportunity to cultivate enduring, purposeful relationships that would influence my career and help me achieve my life's purpose. Okay. This part about your childhood being a blend of nostalgia, was it necessary?
Rita, why is it sounding like a leadership essay?
Exactly. But I mean, this childhood was a blend of nostalgia. Is unnecessary. You can just flow into a cultural worldview guided our tight-knit communal life. Or our tight-knit, you get, instead of this, my childhood was a blend of nostalgia. It doesn't add to the essay, to be honest, in my opinion. Someone else might review and say it does, but in my opinion, I think it doesn't really add to the essay. But this cultural worldview, showing the communal life, shows that, okay, bringing your childhood, you could say, despite the armed conflict in my region between early environment during my childhood, comma, a cultural worldview. So despite this worldview guided our communal life, you know, emphasizing collective strength. Therefore, for me, pursuing a university was not only about mastering literacy skills, literacy skills. It represented an opportunity to cultivate enduring purposeful relationships. I think you should work on your punctuation. No? I think there are some that are not where they are supposed to be. Overall, this is not a bad introduction at all. I started by volunteering as a research assistant for Professor Ndubuisi Nwafo, who was researching marine plastic waste governance. I provided paper resources and specific solutions relevant to the overall research. Consequently, he landed the Association of Commonwealth Universities Blue Charter Fellowship to research marine plastic governance in Nigeria. As part of his research team, I organized a symposium on marine plastic. Martin, so what are you doing, for God's sake? Marine plastic pollution. Where was I? Okay. Yeah, and governance in collaboration with the Nigerian Ministry of Environment. This program had a reach of over 700 participants. Since 2019, with my assistantship, Professor Ndubuisi has published over 22 research papers on environmental sustainability, commercial law, etc. In the same vein, volunteering for him has assisted me in forging a career path and pursuing my dream of a peaceful and environmentally benign Niger Delta. First, environmentally benign. I get what you're trying to say there, but okay.
Wow.
First, as part of his team, I was invited for legislative negotiations regarding prospective marine plastic governance legislation in Nigeria. Our quota formed the backbone of the current law on marine waste governance, which is under, this is actually looking like a leadership essay, which is under negotiation in the Nigerian House of Representatives. Working behind the scenes, I leveraged Professor Ndubuisi's collaborative relationship, okay, cool, with the Nigerian National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRIA, to influence evidence-based programs that help rural communities respond to pollution problems. Again, this approach not only imbues me with the requisite knowledge, which approach, and hands-on experience to navigate environmental management, but also assists me in contributing peaceful and sustainable solutions to environmental issues in Nigeria. Okay. This is a very, very loaded paragraph. At a point, you almost lost me, to be honest. So the beautiful thing about this paragraph is that it actually shows an equal blend of, you know, how you have helped the person and how the person has helped you. But it doesn't really show per se it doesn't show as much how the person has helped you. In fact, in this relationship, I would say you helped Professor Nwafo more. I would say Professor Nwafo gained more. So how does it help your career though? I saw that you wrote something like that, but it was just like 1 or 2 lines. So I think you should highlight more how this helped you. I love that you've stated what you have done and how it has caused impact. So that is beautiful. But highlight more how this relationship helped you. And then also, maybe you might want to, this thing is long. For somebody who is not passionate about national marine, environmental, it might get too technical and too keenly at a point. I don't want to use the word boring, but it might get boring at a point, even though it's showing what it's supposed to show. So I like the example, to be very honest. I can't really see much wrong with it, except telling you to add for you how it has helped shape your career, because that's what the question is basically seeking. Well, in my opinion, no, it's not a bad example at all. Like it's not bad writing at all. It's not bad writing at all, but it's the writing that can very easily also lose the reader. And considering the fact that you already caught me at the introduction, I mean, please don't lose me. Next, I volunteered for Professor. Oh, is this person from UNN? My alma mater. I volunteered for Professor Jude Odinkonibo, who was researching the incidence of double taxation and unilateral imposition of digital service taxes in 2022. For someone with no classroom background in tax, my relationship with Professor Jude imbued me with fundamental and practical knowledge of taxation. Consequently, I led my school teams to first runner positions in 2 national tax debates. This is a leadership example. This one now is a purely leadership example. Like,
don't you think all the entire S is actually a leadership essay?
no, for the first example, I could actually see some elements of networking. That's why I said he should highlight more.
Elements of networking with strong initiatives for leadership.
Yes, to be honest. But this particular second example, I can't even, it is a leadership essay there. It's a very good example, but it's a leadership essay, like pure. Like, how did you meet Odinkonibo? Where did you meet Odinkonibo? How did you come to start volunteering for Odinkonibo? What was this volunteering doing for you, personally, for you? How did it help you? You know? Okay, now as people have won national debates, what does that do for you? What does that do for your career? How does that help you in future? How does that relate to the fact that you want to go study in the United Kingdom? Do you understand? Every essay is linked to each other. How does all these things, how do all these things show that, oh, I want to go and study in the United Kingdom? Oh, this guy helped me. Oh, this guy brought me, shone a light in my path as regards this. And then this tax now is totally different from your environmental something that you set up, which is making me think that this is a leadership essay. I think are you sure this is the person's networking essay? Maybe the person's leadership essay.
Yeah, can I also, I think I'll just, first of all, I agree with what everybody has said. I think this is a good essay overall, but I don't think it's answering the questions that the networking essay is asking you. Like I had mentioned, whilst a good number of people have great stories, great experiences, you have to make sure you're answering the question.
Exactly.
If you're not answering the question, you defeat the entire purpose. So what Rita had said, when you are telling the stories, lay a bit more emphasis on the how you met them, where you met them. Like, how did you hear about the volunteering opportunity? Who told you about it? Was it via a conference? How did you eventually connect with him? Was it via email? Was it via LinkedIn? That's when people say leadership and networking are very linked, is because both of them are very similar, in the sense that you are achieving a goal via a network that already exists or via resources that you have. But each of them are asking you to highlight, like spotlight something strong, like throw your spotlight on something different on each of them. And yeah, I think I've said what I want to say. Just tell us how you met these people. And then I think this context will now be more networky than leadership driven. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So let me see the conclusion real quick. I aspire to build strong relationship with my lecturers and professionals I would meet while studying in the UK scholarship. They provide me with a global outlook on environmental sustainability and enable me attract various investments for Nigeria's sustainable future, such as foreign direct investments focused on sustainability, international sustainability campaigns in Nigeria, and more. Wow. I wish I was
There's too
talking
much
to this person
sustainability
there.
in that sentence. Like, the sustainability in that sentence, I can't count.
It's just two. Okay, it's three. I mean, it's
The
four.
environmental sustainability, Nigeria sustainable sustainability, international sustainability campaign, Nigeria, much more. My God, what is that?
Yeah, the tautology is much on sustainability. We get that you're trying to emphasize sustainability, but keep it, like, tone it down a notch. And okay, I love that you say it's going to build relationships with his lecturers and professionals, to do what? What would this relationship you build? Is it the relationship that will provide you with a global look on environmental sustainability? Or the people you would meet you would work on projects, aimed at sustainability? Okay, well, just find a way to recouch this so that the two sentences sort of flow.
Okay, so I think in summary for this particular essay, like Odera mentioned and Rita has been trying to emphasize, and also Munira also spoke to, this essay is more leadership focused. It doesn't highlight your ability to build a relationship, right? But it highlights your ability to work behind the scenes, which is quite a self-initiative that emphasizes leadership, right? So you want to go and overhaul this thing from the beginning to the end, right? Okay. Rita, I think we are pressed for time.
I think, yes, we are actually. I was about to say that. I just wanted you to finish speaking. Okay, I'm just going to turn on my video now so that we can. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm sure that by now, a lot of you, because I know I got some of my mentees to join the group, and one or two of them told me that their essays have been reviewed already, and they have gotten comments on like their essays. So I know that a couple of you, if not everyone, I'm hoping it's everyone, but I know a couple of you have received, reviews on the essays that you submitted through the link that was shared on the Global Wins group. But if your essay has not been reviewed, rest assured it will be reviewed before the middle of this week. Okay, I'm so happy that we all join this live. I'm very sure that there's a group. Please, Martin, someone is asking what group. Can you please post the link to the group in the chat box so that they can join the group as well? I'm so happy that you guys joined this live, and I'm super, super thankful to every Chevening scholar on this live who has made this live a resounding success. Monira, you are amazing. I can't even say it enough. You are so amazing. Odera, thank you for bringing something fresh. Thank you for being so amazing as well. Martins, you're a superstar. Thank you for putting this together. I'm really grateful to be your host. I hope someone has a question. I hope the link is on the page already. Requirements to be my mentee. Wow. Already. What's your question, Aminat? Can you type it, or would you rather speak? If you rather speak, you can raise your hand. If you rather type it, please type it quickly so that we can, because we're about to end the live. It's almost 2 hours. We aim for 2 hours. Feedback, just check your Google Form. Comments, check this thing. Comments have already been added on the essays. Right, Martins? Am I right?
And some comments have been added on some essays. So other comments will be dropped on the ones that were submitted. So
okay,
unless
so
we don't
just
have access to the essays that you dropped. So yeah.
Okay, all right.
And
so
for
Martin,
those who are not on the
link,
WhatsApp
please.
group, I will drop the link to the Google form for the WhatsApp group.
Okay, perfect. The link is there now.
So let me drop the link to the DFID, the Development for the Department for International Development, so that you can all go there and check what Chevening is doing in Nigeria, or what the UK government.
The UK government is doing in Nigeria, in your sphere, of impact,
Can I say
in your area.
something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I tell people that when you go to DFID, sometimes you may not see, in quote, active projects that in line what you are doing. Some projects might be put as inactive, but they are not inactive in the sense that they've shut down the project entirely. It's just that the goal that they set to achieve based on the trackers at that time has already been achieved. So you can look at those other projects and check their websites, because that's what I had to do for my own. I didn't see any active project in itself, but I saw something that UK was doing in alignment with tech that had already achieved its goal, so to say. And I told them I still want to continue helping them in that area. So don't lose hope when you get there, because the first 2 times I went there, it was so hard for me and I just wrote rubbish.
I think we all wrote rubbish at some point, so it's perfectly fine. Okay, guys, in the absence of any further statement or question, there's somebody here that, don't worry, once you join the group, click on this thing now on the.
Did Rita get off the call?
Yeah, I think we lost Rita.
Rita, okay. So I've dropped the link to the dev tracker for FCDO, where you can find projects in Nigeria there. It's in the comment section. I would also drop that on the WhatsApp group as well. Right. Also,
I'm so sorry, I don't know what happened. I was about to end the meeting and then. All right, so guys, thank you so much for joining. Join the group. Whatever question you have, you can ask on the group and we'll take you from there. I'm so grateful, and I'll see you guys in our next. So essay review has actually closed, because I saw somebody asking that now. Like the link to the essay review. I don't know, Martin, is it going to reopen?
No, it's not reopening. No, that's closed. The ones we have received, we need to send them out before the end of this week.
But right. You can actually reach out to scholars individually. There are scholars everywhere. There are scholars on LinkedIn. There are scholars on Facebook.
For those of you who joined, how am I going to do this? Okay. I would reopen the essay, whatever form, for the next 2 hours till midnight. So for those of you who joined, you will see that there is going to be a link in this chat box right now. I'm just going to drop the link there to the form so that you can submit. And once you submit, I'm going to close it. So Rita, just give me 5 minutes. You can just keep playing with them while I work on that.
You said play. Just imagine.
or we can actually end the meeting and then everybody can just go on the page, right? Go on the page and wait. Once the link is dropped on the
You
page.
will know.
So,
exactly. You know what's going to happen.
so I think it's better. I think it's better.
Or
Thank
if
you,
you
guys.
can just take last minute questions
Okay.
before he
Great.
figures things
Because
out.
it's a WhatsApp page. It's a WhatsApp page where everyone is, and information is always being shared on the page like water. So once you the link to join the page is already here in the comments. So just
Let
look
me
at the
drop my
comments.
LinkedIn. You can send. I can only answer questions. I promise to answer your questions, but you guys, I've reached the capacity of people I can help at the moment. I'm sorry, but I'll just drop my
That's my
LinkedIn.
problem.
If you have any questions, I'll answer to the best of my knowledge.
So I think something that people can also do, there's a tendency to want to ask recent people to review your essays. The thing is that all of us just started school. Like I don't even know how to explain what's happening right now in my life.
It's
So
a
it's really hard
lot.
to make out time for another person because I also have papers to read, group work to do. So when I think
I'm
about
going to see my laptop open. God.
so what you can do, maybe you can also reach out to just try your luck. Maybe past the people that maybe just finished to ask them because they may have a little luxury of time because I know they are finding their footing, but they may have more time than us that are just thrown into a system of education that we are unfamiliar with. Yeah. So I'm leaving now, guys. Bye.
Bye, Dara. Bye.
Bye,
It's a lot.
everyone.
It's a lot. It's not exactly easy for us. So please give us some grace, and we will see you in our next week. We'll be here again, same time. The link will also be shared. On
Someone
the page.
raised her hand. I can see Aminat. Do you have a question?
I told her to put the question up, but I didn't see anything. Thank you so much, Anayo, for the vote of confidence. I'm not seeing her question. You can unmute and speak if need be. You're welcome, Molamidayo.
Thank you. I wanted to ask 2 questions. I know we are out of time. So my first question is, when you're writing your networking essay, can you use examples that are not related to what you are talking about? For example, I'm talking about public health. Can I bring examples from the job I did in SDG? Can I add it to my networking essay, or it must be related to public health? That's my question.
Okay. It doesn't have to be related to public health, but SDGs is related to public health now. So
what I did is under education, not really health.
Yeah, it doesn't mean, as far as you're showing that you've actually done something, it doesn't mean. But what I'm saying is that, okay, if you've said that, at least one of your examples should show relation to your field. Do you get? It gives you an edge. Do you get that? You are going to give 2 or 3 examples, right?
Yes.
So you can give one that is completely unrelated. That's fine. But you should try to incorporate one example that relates to eventually your career plan or things that are building on to do. That's very
Also, another way you can do it is you can link what you did. So education, what did you educate on? If you educated on health or whatever, still sort of like public health. So you can still link it one way or another.
Okay.
So it depends on what you educated on, actually.
It's just basically all the SDG goes to school children.
And health is part of it, Abi.
Yes.
Please, what are we now talking about? That means it is part of it. You have to find something to link your essay there. Please.
Actually, as I said.
Yeah. My second question is, what about if you don't have a job you are returning to? This is a new field for you. You're not returning to anything. You're starting afresh in your career essay.
Okay.
I didn't return to any. I didn't write I'm returning to anything. I've resigned. I don't have a job. I'm not returning to anything. So I just wrote on my return. My first goal is to start with my non-profit. I already have a non-profit.
You have something.
What if you don't have
you have something?
You can establish one. You can
job.
say when you come back, you can establish one to begin with. And
Yeah,
then
but
remember that my second example is that I'm going to gain entry into human rights law firm in Lagos, which means I've not entered yet.
yeah,
Okay.
Law firm is well versed in human rights. They are very big in human rights. So I've already learned, and they require me to have masters. And they do a lot of human rights work on the field, and they do a lot of policy making in human rights, policy drafting. So that when I go, my plan too, my medium-term plan is to join them. So while my short-term plan is while I'm still working on my non-profit, I will also now start applying to join them. Why? Because see how it will help me. So you don't have to have something already.
but you have to convince them. You have to write it in a way that it's believable. You can actually come back and do it. So you can't just say anything randomly. It has to be okay. You have a concrete plan. It is actually realistic.
Okay, can you be specific in where you want to look for a job? Like, I'm coming back to explore opportunities.
Exactly. You have to be
Okay.
very specific. That's what I'm saying. It's easier if you have something. If you say you have something you are coming back to, you already have a job. You know you have a job. Do you get? But obviously, if you don't have something you are coming back to, you have to say you're going to start something. But that thing that you're telling them about, you have to be very specific. You have to mention exactly where you're going to work, what you're going to do. If it's projects you're going to start, tell them exactly how you're going to facilitate those projects. Very, very important. So basically what I'm trying to say is it's easier if you have something you're coming back to. You can actually just tell them. Even then, you have to explain how you're going to do it. But when you're coming back to nothing, but then you have something that you want to join, obviously, right?
Yes.
You have a plan. You have to have a plan. So you have to explain exactly how that plan is going to go. You have to be specific. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
In addition
All right,
to
the
what,
link is on the page. The link is on the chat box. Please, you guys, you can now
Emergency essay
send
review. That's nice.
You can send that now. We need to go by press for time. Martins, what do you want to say so we can just round up?
yeah, I just wanted to say that, please, that's the form for emergency essay review. If you want us to look at your essay in addition to all the ones we're already looking at, please drop it. And that form is going to close by 12 midnight, so I cannot come and die, right? Okay. All right. Just to comment on the girl that says, or the person that said that, what if you don't have an NGO to return to? There are volunteer roles that you could start with. You can actually say you will start with a volunteer role, and then how you would leverage the Chevening alumni network or the alumni from your school, all right, to support some of the things that you will start. You don't necessarily have to have it all figured out. You just need to show that you have a clear plan with what you want to do, really. Okay. The last question is, I filled out the form, but I could not join the group. It kept redirecting me.
You don't
Yes.
know.
Okay.
You don't
have to have an international passport yet. You can just apply, and then you will submit all your supporting documents much later. It kept redirecting you. Please join the group first. Join the group first, okay? Once you join the group, we'll handle all that on the group. We'll take it from the group, all right? Thank you so much. We have to leave now, you guys. We have to go, but yeah, we'll not go. It's already 2 hours and almost 15 minutes.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Munira. Thank you, Martins. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.